All right, the last video I'm going to do of just the basic overview of what you were able to do on the old ROS crossover is going to be graphics. So the graphic software is called Expression. It's made by ROS, and it's a lot more in depth. It's got some 3D elements, motion, you can keyframe. So it's going to be kind of a learning curve for us to learn it and teach it. But we will do a video on just the basics of dropping in a still image that you have created or creating a basic lower third that you used to be able to do in the Compix software. So the workflow is the same. I know we used key 3 before. You can use any of the keys here. So background, key 1, key 2. I will say this, when you're setting up a key, you have the other key buttons over here. So if you pan left, you can see that these are the key buttons to set up your keys. So if I want to do, key 1 is a chroma key, that's what I have it set up now. So that's all great. You won't actually see it on the multi-view if you don't have these buttons over here selected. So if I'm only seeing background, that's the basic just function of switching back and forth between a program and preset buttons. You have to have key 1 selected, and then you'll see it on the screens. So if I'm working in key 2 now, if I want to set key 2 to be a graphic overlay of like a lower third name, you want to make sure that when you're setting it up, you want to actually hit key 2 here. But everything is going to be done over here with the key 2 select. So I just want key 2 select, and I want key 2 select to be, you can use either auto or you can use self key. So if it's something that you made with an alpha channel, or if you make something with just a black background, then it can be a self key. And then I now know that I'm in key 2 because it's green, and then I can select the CG here. So that CG button right there on my key auxiliary bus. So that's the same setup as before. But if you'll remember in the studio intro class on this screen here, I show you that you have to set these clip and gain numbers. So if you're using something that has an alpha channel and it's just a white graphic, or if you're using something that is like a white logo, maybe with a black background, it'll key out fine. It'll look great with just clip and gain set to 50 and 50. But if you're working with colors or anything with gradients, you're going to want to set these down. Similar, I was playing around with this, and I know we used to say 7.7 and 9.7. I found that 13 and 8 was looking a little bit better on this switcher. So clip to 13 and then gain to 8. And then that will make your graphic look really good. So again, it's key 2 select. You see that? So key 2 select. I want it to be a self key. I selected the CG, which is the CG computer. We'll have a video about that. And then you just want to set your clip and gain here. And then when we come over here to the far right, I can see that my key 2 is set to CG. And I can just cut it in, or I can fade it in and fade it out, because this right here, my auto is set to dissolve. So you can play around with those different transitions. So if you can see this right here, again, what I teach in the intro class is that we do not want to leave that overlay key, key 2 or key 3. We don't want to leave it on here. We want to just work with background. So just hit background again, and then now when you key on this and key 2 on and off, it appears on both program and preview screens, and it goes off. So if you want to tilt up, you can tilt up and just show, maybe zoom out a little bit if we need to. Go to the screen, and then we can zoom out, and then you can just see as I hit key, the key auto, so it's just going to dissolve on and off. So if you remember, if you had key 2 selected on the board, then when you key transition, it's going to switch, it's going to go off and on between program and preview. And that's not good, because if you turn it off, but then you T-bar in a new shot, it's coming back. So just get off of it, hit background, and that way when you key on and off key 2 auto button, it's going on and off everywhere. So just a good little hint. And I teach that in the intro class, but if you haven't played around with this, you may have not remembered. So.